Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, fellow crypto traders. We are looking at the dollar right now. I want to cover very quickly what is happening in our broader markets and how that impacts the crypto space. All right, so previously I noted that we have currently broken to the downside of an ascending red trend line I've drawn since May of 21, in which the dollar remained on the upside and was strengthening. The bears were able to take us below this ascending trend line. We bounced on support, and now I expected us to hit our heads here on previous support, now resistance, and either continue in a sideways trajectory of sorts or to start to further move down. Neither of which we did. The bears actually surprisingly took us back above that ascending trend line right into our 20-day. We hit our heads on that, and now we are coming back down. What does this mean for the future? Well, the dollar currently controls everything. It is the lead indicator of what's going to happen in these markets. And we know the Fed is planning to raise interest rates soon. I think that date keeps changing, and even when it is stated, I don't know that I necessarily believe the date absolutely. But the last I heard was March or May of this year, I believe. So when the Fed raises interest rates, that generally does strengthen the dollar. That takes away the inflationary impact, the variable that is being factored in, and helps to strengthen the dollar. But that strengthening of the dollar has a deflationary impact on our indexes. Let's jump over to our indexes because there are some significant things occurring. First of all, the S&P, the last remaining holdout in our index, on our index charts, has finally broken below this channel, which we have lived inside of since March or April of 2020, April 2020. So this is very significant because it was the last holdout, the one that remained inside this bullish ascending channel, has broken to the downside, and currently today we are getting our confirmation candle on the daily. All right. NASDAQ also has significant price action as we have broken below the 200-day. And also, that is the first time since April of 2020. All right. So, very significant bearish price action on our indexes, kind of foretelling the future of what this market may look like going into 2022. Dow Jones, of course, we know we've already broken below, come back above, broken below, come back above, and broken below. Now, again, the more times you cross these areas of significance, the more you erase the significance of that price action. It's kind of like you're breaking through something that was rock solid previously, like a jackhammer, and you're weakening it. So at some point, we're just going to have to take away this line of support and resistance because it will no longer be anything that is significant or that we have to pay attention to. I've got a channel marked here for the QQQ as well, I believe. Yes, and we broke to the underside of that a few days ago as well. All right, so this is all significant bearish action, which correlates to my hypothesis, my theory that we are experiencing a slow rollover of sorts in the markets. Now, this could last all the way till May, June, July of this year. But once we break, and if I were to extend this line here, and I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, this is just a theory, this is just an idea. But once we break this area here, that's when all hell breaks loose. And I expect that sometime to be mid-year of this year, somewhere around the summer, maybe May, June, July. All right. And that's what we really have to pay attention to in the crypto space. Currently, yes, this is bearish action because we are below these channels of support. doesn't mean the bears are going to take us straight down. In fact, what I see the most likely scenario, not that we go back above either, but that we continue sort of in a sideways pattern for the next few months until we either drop or make some sort of decision to go up even further. That I don't think is going to happen. I do believe we are going to continue this rollover and continue to go bearish into midsummer. All right. But for now, the price action is sideways. And that correlates with what I see on the dollar. I don't expect the dollar just to continue to go weak really rapidly. Actually, nobody wants that, including the Fed. So all they have to do is print at a slower rate than the rest of the global governments, and their fiat currency remains the strongest or one of the stronger ones of all of them. But all global fiat currencies are currently being devalued and debased. Um, and the Fed just wants to govern that theirs is debased at a slower rate than everybody else to maintain its strength against the rest of those currencies. Does that make sense? All right, so that being said, we could see here the dollar drop below this ascending line once again, and then, like everything else, continuing in a sideways pattern of sorts, maybe in some sort of channel, and maybe overall forming a bullish flag, because as we get closer and closer to that date in which the Fed raises interest rates, that is when the dollar strengthens once again. Or maybe the market factors that raising of the interest rate in just prior to when it actually happens, and the dollar starts to strengthen shortly before that date of uh, basis point increase. All right, what does this actually mean for the crypto space? Because that's what I'm concerned about, and that's what my subscribers are concerned about most. Let's jump over to our crypto leaders and look at Bitcoin. And so basically, Bitcoin has been on this level of support I've drawn here at 40,800, has not been able to break below it. As I've stated in past videos, liquidity is drying up rapidly. We are currently at 76 to 77% illiquidity on the exchanges. And what that means is that there is just not coin to change hands as rapidly. So we're seeing less and less volatility, accumulation, if any, is picking up, and liquidity is drying up. This is a good sign for the bulls, and it is a sign that we are nearing a bottom. I mentioned before that this could be a bear flag, and yes, it still could be a bear flag that possibly takes us down to the $36,000 level and rising. I don't know that we'll get down there though. I just don't see that the liquidity exists in the exchanges to allow the bears this sort of rapid movement down to that trend line. It could happen, and I definitely will not rule out that possibility, but it is not likely. More likely, I see this 40,800 mark being a good area of support. We bounced once, and maybe this is a W pattern, gets us back above that blue trend line, and then the bears continue to take over. I mean the bulls, excuse me. I confuse those terms quite a bit, I noticed as I watch these videos back. I hope you guys know what I mean. But this then correlates with the data that I'm seeing on the broader markets. So if the broader markets move sideways and the dollar either weakens or moves sideways, we know um, that crypto is a truer indicator. It's a more pure indicator, a more accurate indicator of actual inflationary factors going into the price of the markets. So the broader markets will factor in that price, but crypto, the reason why I say it's a purer form is we know there's only 21 million coins in existence. So if you want to really see inflation or the impact of the dollar being factored in to the price of crypto, you'll see it first in crypto. Even though there is correlation between the broader markets and the crypto space, crypto more accurately, I believe, reflects what is actually happening in the debasement of global fiat currency. And so, as global fiat currencies raced the printers to print more money, that devalues their fiat currencies globally, but that also strengthens the crypto space. And that is exactly why I believe another bull cycle is yet to come. So, jumping back over to our stock indexes, while these indexes, where's my chart, move sideways, or maybe even slightly up. And while the dollar moves sideways and maybe even slightly up or down, just sideways, let's just say sideways, that gives our crypto space the time that it needs, the time that is necessary to move up and continue that bullish cycle, which I believe is still to come. Jumping back over to the crypto leaders, let's talk about how this happens. So the dollar continues to move sideways or weakens. Maybe it even slightly strengthens. It's not all about the dollar and Bitcoin, of course. Bitcoin is a global fiat asset property. Some people call it a currency. I don't necessarily consider Bitcoin a currency. It's more a property, an asset, and that's actually what our government here in the U.S. considers it as well. As the global currencies are being debased, in other words, devalued or inflated, that price, that inflationary impact of global fiat currencies must be indicated on the price of our largest cryptocurrency, in quotes. Um, and so that's why I do believe that we will continue to see a bullish cycle in the crypto space all the way through at least March of this year, maybe May. And we'll start to see, and all the signs are indicating that we are nearing a bottom. Really, guys, it's just a matter of patience. Hold tight. Now, with my Substack subscribers, you guys know what I've been doing is jumping around to various altcoins. I see a good setup. I give a trade alert. We pump 10 to 20%. I give another trade alert, sell here. We've hit resistance. We move over to another good setup on the altcoin space. We wait for that 10 to 20% pump. We sell when we're into resistance, and we move over to another one. And in this way, we've been helping our subscribers to alleviate the damages done by this pretty nasty drawback, especially in the altcoin space. And so hopefully you guys are following me with that. And anybody who is interested, feel free to subscribe. The link is in the description below. All right, until next time, you guys take care, stay safe out there, and just be patient, guys. We're getting close. We're getting close.